What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
She-Hulk Episode 5. Mean, green, and straight poured into these jeans, Marvin.
Yes, sir.
Not
Is
only...
that G or J?
What?
Jeans.
Oh, J. Like pants, you know?
Uh-huh.
Not
Bars.
Oh.
You got bars.
Dusty's-
That's a Dusty bar.
That's an enlightening question. I didn't even think of that.
Shit. That's a good one, dog.
Not only is it straight bars, but it's also her bio for fake MCU Twitter, or whatever it's called in the show.
Tinder. Yeah.
Tinder, yeah.
What did I say?
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Gotta get off social media.
Yep.
So this was a bit more of a tamer episode in terms of action, really. There wasn't really much going on in the way of action.
Yeah.
We have a new... What was that?
No, I was just going to say I was getting a little bit bored at first.
Hey, well, lucky for you, these are like 10-minute episodes, so...
That's right.
I thought it was a good character development episode.
That's true. No, that's true.
No, I did too.
Come on, I'm a Zoomer, so I need some action. I need some, I need to get right.
Well, in this episode, we get our girl Jennifer. It's the follow-up to last week's finale at the end of that episode, where she finds out she's being sued for the name She-Hulk from Titania. I keep saying Tatiana because that's the actress's name who plays Jennifer. Why are you doing this to me, Kevin Feige? So Titania, we found out last episode, is suing her for the name She-Hulk. And in this episode, we get a countersuit from Jennifer and her colleague, the best lawyer in the history of the planet, I guess. What was her name?
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. They like made her out to be like such a badass in this episode. Not that I had any problem with it. I just don't know where that came from. Like, I know they had like, I think, like glanced at her in one of the previous episodes.
That's true. They did, yeah.
But in this one, she was like, almost like, I don't know. She just seemed like super illustrious. Like Jennifer was like fangirling over her and stuff. And,
true. Yeah.
The character, by the way, Mallory Book is who we're talking about. Played by Renee Elise Goldsberry. And these two take Titania to court to countersue, basically trying to prove the fact that while Jennifer initially wasn't super happy with the name She-Hulk, she has made it a part of her identity. And to do so, Jennifer has to go through an extremely embarrassing ordeal where they parade some of her Tinder dates through court to make a statement that, yes, I went on the date with her as the She-Hulk, and her profile was the She-Hulk, not Jennifer, which led to some funny stuff. Well, not actually funny, pretty kind of heartbreaking stuff. Yeah.
Jen Walters bad. She-Hulk's good.
Yeah, basically.
Shit was kind of sad. They basically dissed her real self.
Yeah. Well, is it a diss though? We'll get into that.
It's kind of a diss. Yeah.
And then we have the little subplot going on throughout the episode, which is a little like side mission between Nikki and Pug, and they take
the fashion, the drip, the hunt for the drip. Man.
Yep.
Pug was talking about Iron Man 3s. You think those look like Shaq's or Jordans?
Well, you saw them, Marvin, in the title sequence at the end. Not the title sequence, the credit sequence.
Yeah.
I don't watch those, so
Actually,
I wouldn't know.
Of shoes.
Yes. A lot of little Easter eggs there. I don't think it's anything too crazy, but we'll get into some of that stuff. So, court case obviously goes well for Jennifer. She earns to retain the name She-Hulk. But what's funny about this one is I mentioned it last episode. Titania is arguably one of She-Hulk's biggest villains, but it's like it's more of like a competition type of thing,
right? Yeah,
between them, and they're doing it in the show. I think really cool because it's like it makes sense for obviously the world we live in as real people, but also like the show. And Titania, as a social media influencer with superpowers, has launched a line of I guess, beauty products like cream.
She-Hulk Cosmetics, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking snake oil is what it is.
It is snake
Yep.
oil.
Literally.
Yeah, and she's calling it the brand is She-Hulk, which I don't know, it's weird, but I guess it was a smart marketing decision on her part, like seeing as the name is out in the media, fuck it, throw it on some products.
Mm-hmm.
People were buying it up though. Even at one point, Nikki was like, "Fucking, oh shit,
She was, yeah.
you got some free samples."
Was that her brother or her friend or something at the beginning that was selling the signed She-Hulk products? She should have just capitalized on that. It makes some money.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure who it was. I think it was the guy. I think it was her brother because he looked like the guy who was around the dinner table, like in that one episode where she goes home.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate.
Right.
And yeah, and she wins the rights to her name back. No surprise there.
She does, yeah.
And Titania.
Cousin Ched.
Cousin. Okay.
Cousin.
And at the end of this court hearing, Titania gives Jennifer a stern talking to. She says, "This isn't over yet," or some villainous shit like that. So I'm sure that will be leading to something else. Interesting, actually. There was the reappearance of another person who happened to be one of her dates, but the character of Todd, played by John Bass.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the weirdo that we talked about last episode who was like, "Oh, you think fucking vibranium can pierce your skin?"
Such a specimen.
Such a specimen. And after we had spoken last episode, I went and watched, one of the breakdowns, as I do each week, from one of the YouTube channels we watch. And they were suggesting that this guy is perhaps more than meets the eye.
Yeah. If he's a big client of this super big firm, I imagine he's some kind of rich, evil mega
He's
mind
not a
guy.
superhero, but he has retained legal counsel for the superhero division, which is strange.
Yeah. And he was friends with Mallory, so Mallory is his lawyer, we saw. And in that breakdown that I watched, they were suggesting, and I don't know I don't remember exactly where this information came from. Might have been the show's writer or creator or whatever, because they've been doing a lot of, like, I guess, publicity talking about the show. But somehow the information got out that there was somebody who is a Tony Stark wannabe, basically. Like billionaire playboy, but like also a piece of shit. So the theory was that it was this guy, Todd. And now it seems like a week later, perhaps Todd might have a bigger role. So that was interesting. We briefly mentioned that, some of the other dates were marched through, and it made for a pretty like embarrassing moment for her, but also one of, I guess, I don't want to say self-reflection, but definitely she's having a bit of an identity crisis now, which we saw the makings of in the last episode. When she started using this dating app, she saw she wasn't getting any action as Jennifer, but all these guys, they want to go on dates with She-Hulk.
Right.
And your boy David Otunga that you were talking about last episode, the wrestler, he went up there and was like, "Nah, she came off a little fucking cocky," blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But when we get to the guy, the Arthur, who was the too good to be true doctor, he was like, "Listen, I don't mean any offense, but like, I wasn't really into Jennifer. I was into She-Hulk."
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty bad. Like, the guy's just a piece of shit.
But you didn't read into it any further?
I guess you could.
Maybe I read into it a little too much.
Yeah, I didn't, but now that you're saying that, I guess you could. Like, it's like she's had on maybe like some kind of mask or something, and when she takes the mask off, it's not the same person. It's not,
What about you, Dustin?
I don't know that it's so much as an identity crisis as it is to coming to terms with who she is now as a person and a superhero. Like, there's going to be a slow and steady change in herself as a person, because she's trying to balance Jennifer and She-Hulk at the same time. There was some subtlety to that scene where like it would show them talking and then it would look back to her and her reactions to what they were saying. And
Yeah.
it was kind of hard to tell how she was really reacting to some of that stuff. Like it seemed like some of the stuff they were saying, she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of get that. And then the other stuff, she was like, oh, yeah, this is embarrassing. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know that it was I mean, it could be a message in there if you really want to, you know,
Well,
dig deep. But
I think that one in particular definitely like hurt her a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of bit,
Yeah.
actually.
Because she really connected with the guy, and
Well, that was the thing, right? It's like, so they actually had like a pretty big connection, and he says it. He was like, oh, we like had this like deep connection in like just one night. And I think that's the thing that really like was fucked up for her, is like, I'm the same person, right? So how could you have a connection with the green version of me and not the other version? Like, if you have
Right.
if you connect with somebody on any level, like the connection is the connection. It doesn't matter what they physically look like, right?
part of it's physical.
yeah, I think it depends.
It's a mix. It's a mix.
No, for sure. In like everyday and in just general relationships, for sure, 100%. But I just think this particular moment was not focused on the looks. They were talking about like an actual like emotional connection, right?
That's what
so-
it seemed like.
Yeah. So I think
But-
that's where
Yeah.
it was hurtful for her.
It turned out
You're
more
just-
shallow than that, obviously, right? Because
Right.
he was like,
Yeah.
and he would have
Douchebags
never.
on a dating app that want to say, yeah, I went on a date with She-Hulk. Like it's
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I just took it as, I didn't like dig down deep into. I wasn't doing like forensic analysis on it. I just thought it was like there's definitely like an identity crisis, as one of you guys said, that she's
Makes sense,
she's
yeah.
starting to deal
that's
with.
what you said.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, there's obviously, you know, that happens to all people. But you know,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
does.
the other thing too is like Marvin said too about them putting a mask on,
Yeah.
and I take it from me. I know firsthand. I won't name names, but prior relationships in my life, I have certainly felt like I had to put on a mask for the
Mm,
relationship to work. There were certainly times where I never really felt comfortable to be myself, really.
Right.
And that's a shitty situation to be in. And I feel like with the character, I don't know where it's going to go, but they could certainly flesh out a lot of interesting character stuff playing off of this. Because in the comic book, she has more fun as She-Hulk. Like she
So
goes
it's like,
out and she parties and she fucks and she does all this stuff.
So it is really like a mass type of, like a different
Ye-
person.
Yeah, so I'm suspecting that the show is going to make it to like, well, I guess I'll just default into being She-Hulk and just take advantage of it for what it is. This is like
Right.
where I'm at, but I feel like they have a path to do some interesting stuff where she's sort of like neglecting the other part of her
Yep.
life, you know.
Yeah.
She's trying to balance both realities because they're both very different. And
Right.
she's going to have to come to terms with which one she favors versus which one, you know,
Mhm.
is better for her.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, all that other stuff that you put into context when you're living your life. But
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, she can't be mad when she goes on a dating app as She-Hulk, and then the guy's like, you know, whatever, right?
Well, right,
'Cause
but
you
that's
can't-
why
it's like catfishing.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
if you wake up and
Well,
it's no longer She-Hulk, but you know,
that's why I think
well, I mean, we saw that in this show.
yeah,
Where
exactly.
the dude thought he was going out on a date with somebody, and it was
Yeah.
actually somebody else.
well that's
Even though it is the same person, so it's a little different, I guess,
that's why I thought
because
that
it is the same person technically, right? Just
Yep.
yeah,
that's why I thought this particular incident, if you will, hurt her the most, because like when she was hanging out with the dude, she didn't think there was any physical part of it, right? Like obviously, you know, you're attracted to
Mm.
somebody, but the
Right.
hope is when you're in a relationship or you're dating, like the personality part of it is the most important part of it, right?
right, yeah,
She unfortunately learned that for this guy it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, so that was that pretty much that was like the major plot of this particular episode. And then we mentioned there was the subplot of Nikki and Pug trying to find her a suit, because at one point
mm-hmm.
when they're meeting with Mallory, the lawyer, she's like, "Damn, girl, you need to fucking dress better."
Oh yeah, she roasted her, but she deserves it because that
And
fucking
yeah.
suit is terrible.
You got your wish, Marvin. So it was going somewhere.
Can't wait. I thought we were gonna get to see it on this episode, but we did. But that's okay. It's coming.
Well, prior to the show releasing, in some of the promo images, she is in like a purple sort of like a Olympian like spandex suit, like a onesie.
Little
Right.
onesie, one piece, yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what we're going to finally get to see.
Right.
Not just like a business suit that could stretch with her. But Pug has a drip dealer,
He does.
which I thought was funny. In fact, they didn't. What did they call? What did he refer to the person as? The drip
I forgot. Drip
broker.
supplier.
The drip broker.
Drip
Yeah.
broker, yeah.
Which is funny because I think it's also a little nod to the power broker, which is a villain they're starting to flesh out. That was first talked about in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Huh.
And the power broker is in the business of selling Walmart fucking super soldier serum.
Oh no.
So I thought it was funny that they gave this guy the name the drip broker. And we find out Pug has got quite the Avengers shoe collection, or just Marvel Heroes shoe collection, going a little bit further. But him and Nikki get some information about a guy out there who is in the business of making suits or just clothing in general for superpowered people. And it was pretty funny because this dude was like super big into like high fashion, and he like came off as like a New York fashion aficionado.
Yeah.
Very full of himself, very arrogant. And they finally convince him to make a suit for Jennifer. And at the end of the episode, we get a little bit of an Easter egg.
Whose helmet was that? I know you know, Dan. Tell me.
You don't know?
Who was it? I don't know.
It's fucking Daredevil, Marvin.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I couldn't
Come
tell.
on.
I
And
couldn't
it's-
tell.
Well, to be fair, it was gold instead of red. So
Yeah.
that could've-
They're giving us a classic Daredevil yellow and red suit from the comic books.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
And there's some interesting things to unpack here because at D23, I'm pretty sure the cast of the Echo series talked a little bit about Daredevil, and they basically have all but confirmed that they are treating it as a reboot to the Daredevil franchise, at least on screen. So I'm assuming they're going to do something along the lines of like him being blipped and now he's coming back. Something along those lines.
Classic.
Oh, yeah. Classic retcon, Marvin.
Classic retcon. I'm getting real sick of the retcon.
Get used to it, baby, because you're in the business of retcons now. What is interesting, though, is that in the Daredevil series on Netflix, he went to, I think it was the show's version of, what's the character's name? Gladiator or something, Dusty? The like real D-list villain. And he was the guy who was making Daredevil suits in that show.
Oh, yeah. I forget his name, but
In the show, it wasn't Gladiator, but there was like Easter eggs that he was Gladiator from the comics.
right.
But in this, I found it interesting that Daredevil would end up all the way in California to have his suit made.
Mm-hmm.
And we know he's going to be appearing in this series at some point, I'm assuming next episode now at this point, but I'm wondering what brought him to California.
Right.
Because, he's got a deep, passionate love for Hell's Kitchen. So I'm just curious what took him away from there. But
Got to be the weather.
it must
California
be.
has amazing weather.
I'm over here freezing my fucking balls off right now. It's not
Are you
even-
really?
Yeah, not even
What is-
mid-September yet. It's like in the high 50s. I'm fucking shivering with my fucking window open.
Shit.
Went from being hot and humid 2 days ago, but now I'm freezing. But anyway,
Fall's almost here.
it's here where I am. I'll tell you that right now. I smelt fucking somebody burning their fireplace a few, like an hour or two
shit.
ago.
That's how you know it's getting real.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and that wasn't the only Easter egg of the episode. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but during the end credit sequence with the really cool animations, I love it. I've been in most of these shows. I've really dug the animations in the title sequences or the
I need to go back and
closing
watch
sequences.
it.
Yeah,
I missed this.
well, there's an image of Pug's shoe collection.
Oh, okay.
And if you freeze on it, there's a lot of previously unnamed heroes from Marvel that I don't think, listen, this is just, I think this was purely Easter egg stuff. Obviously, Daredevil's helmet in the episode is a big deal. This, not so much. This could just be treated as just little, like I said, Easter eggs. But
Right. I see the picture now.
He's holding
crazy.
the Iron Man 3s. But
I see that.
But also, if you look in the background, there's a shoe that is designed around Ben Grimm, who's the Thing from Fantastic Four.
Oh, I see that one. I see that one. Yeah.
On the left-hand side, if I think towards the top, there's a Ghost Rider one, very clearly Ghost Rider. I think there was a Beast one. But
Spider-Man one.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Captain America. Oh, he's holding a Captain America.
I see the Spider-Man.
Or the Iron Man's. There's Captain America in there too.
Yeah, there's all the heavy hitters. It's more so the ones that like of characters that just haven't appeared in the MCU.
Characters
yet.
have never appeared yet. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a couple of X-Men one in there too.
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
So that was interesting. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh fuck, like She-Hulk just confirmed the existence of all. I mean, we obviously know they're all in.
It looks like Magneto. Is that Magneto at the top?
We got Ms. Marvel, Spider-Man, Cyclops is the X-Men one. But yeah, so I don't know. This was just a cool little thing to throw in.
That is cool, yeah.
Even if, again, like, I don't think.
I mean nothing at all. Oh, there's Moon Knight down there, right?
I just saw Moon Knight as you said it. I don't think.
That's sick.
I don't think this is like.
I rock those.
You know, hey guys, like, prepare because this show's about to drop all these characters. I think it was just a little nod to like, don't worry, all your favorite heroes are going to be coming eventually.
Where these shoes at IRL though?
Some of them are nice.
Good market that shit.
Not me. I've been wearing the same pair of sneakers for the last 20 years.
Ah, yeah, that's true. You also got scammed.
Similar.
I did get scammed. I got a fake pair of Ray-Bans trying to buy a pair of sneakers. So fuck me, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the episode. I thought it was a good one. Again, took a little step back from some of the action. I think so far.
Which is fine.
Yeah, I think so far we've had very little action in this show. I think I would like to see a bit more action.
A little bit wouldn't hurt.
But that being said, I did like the episode. I do like the fact that each week seems to be a new court case of some kind. I still don't know. I don't think they've revealed yet, or maybe I haven't noticed it, but I'm still unsure of what the running theme of this show is in terms of like where it's going. I mean, generally,
it just seems, maybe just her finding herself, kind of.
Well, no, I mean more in terms of like where it stands in connection to the MCU.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Oh, yeah, a lot of times like there's something that is revealed of that.
You mean is it present timeline or does it take place some other time or?
No. I mean like just like is there going to be something that happens in this show? It could just be a bunch of little things, right? Like Daredevil showing up, fucking whatever else is there.
We'll get a major event at the end of the season.
That's what I mean, a major event. Because thus far, the only show that hasn't really done that was Moon Knight. But that show was a fucking abomination in itself. So,
yeah.
Fucking Emil Blonsky shouldn't be in jail. The fucking creators of that show should be. But yeah, no, this episode was good. I still continue to like this show. And as we do, our weekly woke watch. There were some funny comments I saw. There is one particular YouTube channel that I check each week that does coverage of this show, and it's purely just to shit on it and like make stuff up about, like, they pull shit from like the weakest of things of like, oh, look at how she's behaving here, blah, blah, blah. But some people, matter of fact, all the people in this comment section on this YouTube channel were really engaged about how she's being treated on this dating app. And one person in particular said something along the lines of, finally women get to see how men get treated on these dating apps.
What the fuck, dude?
So, well, that it just continues to strengthen our point of like all this anti-woke commentary, at least surrounding this show, is purely from people that like have trouble attracting whoever they might be attracted to.
Clearly.
Right. And I'm sitting,
Grasping at straws.
yeah, and I'm sitting here like, dude, like it ain't that hard. Like I understand we all want companionship and stuff like that, but taking to the internet and complaining about women being mean and like
you're literally setting yourself up to just get fucking clowned.
Yeah, like sitting on YouTube and typing about how women are disproportionately treated better than men is like not only bizarre but just flat out fucking wrong. Like, what reality do you what MCU timeline are you fucking living in? I know the sacred timeline has collapsed and all that, but like, give it a fucking rest. Like, just it doesn't take much. Just have a fucking personality.
That's it.
That's it. Like, I get it. Maybe you're fucking like you're ugly. Like, let's just face it. Some people are ugly.
This is true.
But like, you know, as we talked about, and as was the premise of this episode, you know, for anybody that matters in your life, your personality is going to be what matters the most. And those are the people that you should spend your time trying to attract, not people who are shallow. I can't believe I just made that connection in my head. So I'm a fucking pro. I'm going to end it now before I go any further. Just shut the fuck up still. But yeah. Any final thoughts from you guys?
No, it was good. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
The lack of action, it's not that big of a deal now that I really think about it and think about this episode. It wasn't that.
No, I mean, and it's the mark of an entertaining show, right? Like that it still stands even when it's not action. It's not like you completely checked out.
Yeah.
This was textbook episode for me. This is I actually like this one better than the last episode.
Ooh.
So, you know, boss comes in, says, "Hey, what's with this, you know, booty moisture shit?" She's like, "Oh yeah,
Booty
moisture."
Oh yeah, I forgot about that scene.
And then you can see him like he's using it in the when they draw the shit at the end, like he's using it. He's like looking at his ass in the mirror and he has a bunch of them. But he's like, you know, you're a lawyer representing superhero firm, and you know we're being sued. You need to fucking take care of this. And so, you know, the legal drama was believable. The character development, we got to know more about everybody in the show. Like, this is a Hulk. So you guys talking about the action, like, there's never going to be a whole lot of action unless something major happens.
That's
like a freak of the week, like a Tatiana or the construction guys or whatever. She's going to put them down in a matter of seconds. It's not going to be even close.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect a whole lot unless something explodes. Like, this is going to be like, what's the case of the week? How are we developing these characters and where is this going? Like, this was a perfect episode for that. We got to learn a lot about the characters. I enjoyed it. It was more believable than the courtroom drama last week where it was all magic and a little bit kind of too silly for me. This was more believable and I enjoyed it a lot more. So
Coded.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm looking
solid
forward to
case. Yeah.
Dusty wants to fucking watch that. What was that movie with Matthew McConaughey where he's a lawyer? That like
the Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah. Dusty,
it's great.
Dusty wants
they actually made a show about that just came out. That's pretty good too.
Dusty wants some Lincoln Lawyer.
I like
drama.
courtroom dramas. I've been watching courtroom dramas for decades. So
yeah, some
they're
of
fun.
Some of them for me are hit or miss because just I get bored, but it's fine. I believe it.
Right.
I mean, not believe it. I understand why you.
Night Court, Murphy Brown, Boston Legal, Suits. Like, there's a whole bunch of good legal dramas out there.
I don't know much about legal dramas, but I do. I
Come on,
have watched some Judge Joe Brown.
Oh.
Judge Mathis. That's another good one.
Judge Judy.
Judge
you had
Judy,
to have watched Law and Order, Marvin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's the whole premise. The show is split into two segments. Like the law part of it is like catching the dude, and then the order part is like the trial.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to do it for us, folks. Let us know in the comment section what you thought of this episode of She-Hulk, episode 5. Please consider subscribing to us if you have
How many we got left?
Already.
That was episode 5. What is it? Is it 8 or 10?
I think it's 10.
No.
Or 9?
No.
I'm pretty sure it was 10 or 9.
Let's see. 9.
Yep.
Okay, so we got a couple left.
Yeah.
We're more than halfway through. So we'll start to see, you know, he said Charlie Cox's Daredevil is showing up probably in the next episode. So we'll see that. And we'll probably get a better plot development as far as what's going on with the season of the show and where we go from there. But
yep,
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, same. All right, folks. Catch you in the next one.
See ya.
Hasta.